Hey everyone, so you know how we're always talking about the future of education, right?
Yeah,
Well, today's deep dive is super relevant, especially for those of you fascinated by what's happening in India.
right.
We're taking a close look at Eon Reality and their platform, Eon XXR. They're doing some seriously cutting-edge stuff with VR and AR in education.
Yeah, they're really pushing the boundaries.
Exactly. And we're going to unpack all of that today. We want to see how this tech could be a total game changer, especially for Indian students.
Yeah, it has huge potential.
So maybe you could give us a quick rundown. What exactly is Eon XR? What's all the hype about?
So Eon XR, it's basically a platform, right?
Right.
And it uses AI and immersive technology to create these super engaging and customized learning experiences.
Okay, so immersive. I like that.
Sure.
What does that actually look like, though? Can you give us an example?
Sure. Imagine instead of just reading about like the solar system in a textbook, you're virtually walking on Mars.
Whoa, that's way cooler than just looking at a flat picture.
Exactly. And that's just scratching the surface. There are so many other cool features.
Okay, well, let's dive into those features then. What are some of the standout ones, especially thinking about Indian education specifically?
So one of the biggest things is 3D learning. EONXR basically takes those flat textbook diagrams and transforms them into interactive 3D models.
Okay, so like a student could actually pick up and rotate a 3D model of a heart, for example, instead of just looking at a 2D drawing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's got to be so much better for actually understanding how things work.
Right. And imagine a student who's struggling with geometry suddenly grasping spatial reasoning because they can actually interact with a 3D model.
Oh, yeah, that makes total sense. It just makes learning so much more intuitive.
Exactly. And then you've got the personalized learning aspect. EONXR uses AI tutors that can adapt to each student's pace and learning style.
So it's like having a personal tutor for every student.
In a way, yeah.
That's huge. I mean, especially in India, where you have such diverse classrooms,
Hmm.
it's got to be a challenge to make sure every student is getting the support they need.
Absolutely. And speaking of diversity, EONXR offers content in over 85 languages.
35, seriously.
Yeah, that kind of multilingual support is absolutely essential for promoting inclusivity, especially in a country as linguistically diverse as India.
Totally. And it's not just about access to information either, right? It's about making sure students have the skills they need for the future job market.
Exactly. And that's where the virtual skill simulations come in. With Eon XR, students can practice things like welding, public speaking, all sorts of things in a safe, risk-free virtual environment.
So it's like they get a sneak peek into their potential career paths and can start building those essential skills early on.
Yeah, and that hands-on experience is so valuable, especially as India's workforce becomes more and more
It
tech-driven.
really sounds like Eon XR could be a game changer. But how does this all tie into the bigger picture of India's economic landscape? What kind of impact could this tech have?
Well, India is already a major player in the tech world, right?
Yeah.
But to stay competitive, they need a skilled workforce. And E1XR can help bridge that skills gap.
By making training more accessible, engaging?
And way more relevant to the jobs of the future.
Wow. So we're not just talking about changing how students learn, we're potentially talking about changing the trajectory of India's economic future.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so crucial to use this technology effectively to make sure it's implemented in a way that benefits all students, no matter their background or location.
You're totally right. Eon XR has this incredible potential to be a force for positive change. But it's up to everyone, educators, policymakers, even society as a whole, to make sure that happens.
Couldn't agree more.
So our listeners out there, here's something to think about. How can we, as a global community that cares about education, support initiatives like Eon XR? How do we help create a more equitable and brighter future for learners everywhere?
Yeah, it's a question worth pondering.
It really is.